Hey everybody, welcome in. Today we're going to discuss week 3 waiver wires, and I'll get right into it. First thing is we're going to go over some of the injuries that happened this week that'll affect these pickups. First, foremost, biggest one, Isaiah Pacheco broke his leg pretty much, which hurts the Chiefs' running game. They're looking at bringing in possibly Kareem Hunt, but you got Carson Steele and Samaje Perine there as well. We'll discuss those in the waivers. Looking at about 6 to 8 weeks for Pacheco from everything I've read. Next up, Cooper Kupp left the game in a walking boot yesterday. Still not a whole lot of news on that. So keep an eye out for possible pickups with that we'll discuss on the episode today as well. Joe Mixon, ankle injury, left the game yesterday, came back, left again. That's something to keep an eye on. Possibly a Cam Akers pickup, and you'll probably see Dameon Pierce activated for the next game as he was a healthy scratch this past one. A.J. Brown for tonight's game, hamstring injury. Got to watch these with pass catchers. Same with Evan Ingram for the Jags, who was announced pregame warmups, hurt it, pulled a hammy or injured it. These can linger throughout the season, so it's something to keep an eye on. Tua, this one's rough. How this guy isn't going to retire is beyond me. Keeps taking hits. Put himself in that situation, in my opinion, by diving headfirst. Prayers up to him. Hopefully he gets healthy, whatever that may be, and makes the right decision for him and his family. But we'll discuss a couple quarterbacks. I'm not really going to get into Miami quarterbacks, though. Justin Herbert, injured during the game, but came back. Seemed like he was fine. Nothing to really worry about there. As well as Justin Jefferson, quad contusion, but saying day-to-day, which should be all right for week 3. So let's get right into the waiver wire pickups for the week. We'll start off with running backs, and this is where we get into the Isaiah Pacheco news. We'll discuss Carson Steele, Samaje Perine, and possibly Kareem Hunt. It's kind of a toss-up right now. I lean Carson Steele. He's going to get a lot of that first, second down work, in my opinion. If you're full PPR, maybe Perine, because he's probably going to be the lead pass catcher out of the backfield. Kareem Hunt, it's tough because he is coming into a offense that he already knows, or he did know. But as long as he's been off, how healthy is he? How in shape is he? It's going to be interesting to see if they bring him in, how much of a role he's actually going to have on this offense. So I lean towards the other two currently. But going on from there, Braylon Allen of the New York Jets, pretty impressive day yesterday. 7 carries for 33 yards and a touchdown. 2 carries for 23 yards and a touchdown. He played about 30-ish% of the snaps, which is pretty good. He's a speculative ad, in my opinion. You can't start him yet. More so if something happens to Breece Hall. Braylon Allen could possibly be a league winner for whoever gets him. Same goes for Ty Chandler. 10 for 82 yesterday. Actually outperformed Aaron Jones on the ground. Nothing through the air, though. Aaron Jones still was the primary pass catcher out of the backfield. But Ty Chandler, in the event that Aaron Jones goes down, will be a 3-down back and probably more than likely could end up being a league winner as well. Joe Mixon, his injury yesterday, ankle sprain, something to keep an eye on, like I said. Cam Akers was the primary guy out of the backfield when Mixon went off yesterday. So keep an eye on that situation, and Cam Akers could be an ad if you have a spot in the case that Mixon's out. Antonio Gibson, 11 for 96 on the ground yesterday, one for 7 through the air. Ramondre Stevenson saw 21 carries. So if they're going to play Antonio Gibson like this and he can stay somewhat efficient, he may be a good streamer from week to week, depending on matchup. Deontay Foreman for the Cleveland Browns, 14 carries yesterday. Not very efficient, about 3 yards a carry, but he had double the carries that Jerome Ford did. I'm kind of confused because Ford had a pretty efficient day on the ground. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes moving forward. I think he's kind of on the bottom of my list of ads this week because eventually Nick Chubb will come back after a stint on the IR, and I don't see Foreman having much of a role once Chubb returns. Move on to receivers. Getting into the Rams situation here with Kupp more than likely missing some time. It's tough because that offense is just depleted. I could see them having boxes stacked against them. I think this is going to hurt Kyron Williams. Obviously, he's going to get a lot of work, but how efficient he can be with that work with the boxes he's going to see is tough to say. But Rams targets for week 2. Kupp still led with 6, Williams with 5, and then Robinson and Atwell had 4, Johnson had 3, Whittington and Parkinson had 2. So as you can kind of see here, the ball's going to be spread around a lot. The only receiver I'm interested in is DeMarcus Robinson. Atwell could have a role out of the slot due to his connection with Stafford last year, but I lean more to only DeMarcus Robinson. I feel like he's gonna lead that receiver room until Kupp makes his return or Puka makes his return, whichever comes first. And then Quentin Johnson, you're gonna hear this name floating around a lot with most analysts right now. A lot of hate on him at the beginning of the year, and I was not big on him at all. But 11 targets through 2 weeks and 2 TDs yesterday. This offense will not throw the ball a lot. We saw it yesterday. Gus Edwards had 18 carries. J.K. Dobbins had 17 carries. They're going to run the ball a lot. But Johnston is the receiver I prefer due to his size, red zone target. Him and McConkey are both at 11 targets right now, leading the team. But Johnston to me is a big play threat, bigger red zone threat. And they're using him different than they did last year. They're not just using him as a down the field guy. They're using him on short yardage routes. So I actually grabbed him in a couple leagues before the game started yesterday. Worked out for me. I'm still not going to start him yet, but I'll keep him on my bench in case this continues. Jalen Tolbert, 9 targets yesterday. Actually out-targeted CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, that's not going to happen every week. CeeDee Lamb's going to be the target hog on this offense. But if Jalen Tolbert takes over that number 2 spot from Brandon Cooks, which is likely, in my opinion, younger, more talented currently than Cooks, I feel Tolbert could get enough targets to actually be a good flex option here and there. One I feel people are kind of sleeping on is Josh Reynolds for the Broncos. I don't want any part of really this Broncos offense, but if I have one, I want Josh Reynolds. I do have him in a couple leagues, but obviously it's hard to pull anybody off of this Broncos offense. Josh Reynolds has 13 targets through 2 weeks. In fantasy football, that's what you want. You want opportunity, and he's going to give you that opportunity. Denver's offense. If it continues, you're looking at over 100 targets if he can continue what he's doing. So that's what I have currently for the receivers. Let's move on to tight ends. And if you have been dealing with the same thing I have with these top 5 tight ends that went off the board, tight ends have been literally shit this year. And we're all looking for something. Mark Andrews had a little bit of a bounce back this week. Likely came back down to earth. I still have Likely on most of my teams just because Mark Andrews has been a little bit injury prone in the past. But Mark Andrews had a better game. But beyond that, Trey McBride, I think, is the only one that has lived up to the top 5 tight end expectation. Travis Kelce has been abysmal. Laporta hasn't been good. Mark Andrews, Dalton Kincaid has been bad. It's just been terrible. Brock Bowers, the rookie out of Vegas, has been a bright spot for tight ends. So we'll get some tight ends that you could probably get off waivers here that might help you out a little bit. Mike Gesicki yesterday, huge game. Actually outplayed Jamar Chase, but the Chiefs seem to do that. Obviously, we saw it with Mark Andrews week 1. They take the big play threat out of an offense away. I'm not panicking on Jamar Chase yet. So he could be a good somewhat buy low. Nobody's going to sell low because it's still Jamar Chase. But Mike Gesicki, good pickup off the waivers this week. Could be a good fill-in option until these top 5s pull their head out of their ass. Hunter Henry, over 100 yards yesterday, had like a 60% target share for the Patriots. Obviously, not even close to sustainable. But keep an eye on it. Could be a good fill-in tight end as well. Zach Ertz, 8 targets over the first 2 weeks, seems to be the go-to tight end there in Washington. Obviously, we're not looking for huge points off waiver wires or streamers for the tight end position. We're just looking for something because right now the tight end market is kind of bare, and it's hard to play anybody right now. And then one QB streamer that I have for you guys this week, Derek Carr. If he's still on your waivers, take a look at him. He is absolutely just tearing the league apart right now. It could be this Clint Kubiak offense that they're running. It's made a difference, and they played a good defense yesterday. So keep an eye on Derek Carr as the weeks go roll on. Could be a good streamer, could be a good starter for the year if he continues what he's doing. But that's all I have for you guys today. Keep an eye out for upcoming episodes, and we will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.